Christmas Eve had wrapped the city in cold winds and glowing lights, but for Emily Carter, the season felt heavier than ever before. Snowflakes drifted outside the cracked apartment window while the faint sound of Christmas music echoed from the streets below. Inside her tiny apartment, the heater barely worked, and the kitchen shelves were nearly empty. Emily sat quietly at the old wooden table counting the last $20 she had in her purse. $20. That was everything she had left for Christmas Eve dinner for herself and her 6-year-old twin daughters, Lily and Sophie. The girls sat on the floor nearby, drawing pictures of Christmas trees with broken crayons while wearing oversized sweaters Emily had found at a thrift store. Even though life had been cruel to them, the twins still smiled with innocent hope. "Mommy, do you think Santa knows our address?" Sophie asked softly. Emily forced a smile even though her heart ached. "Of course he does, sweetheart," she whispered. But deep inside, she wondered how she would survive another week. Emily had once dreamed of a beautiful life. Years ago, she and her husband Daniel had talked about buying a home, traveling, and giving their future children everything they deserved. But cancer had stolen Daniel away just 2 years after the twins were born. Since then, Emily worked endless shifts at a small diner, barely earning enough to cover rent and food. Every month was a battle. Every day was survival. Yet she never let her daughters see her break completely. That Christmas Eve, after paying the overdue electric bill, only $20 remained. Emily wrapped her scarf tightly and took the twins to a small grocery store downtown, hoping she could somehow create a simple Christmas dinner. The city sparkled with holiday joy all around them. Families laughed together, carrying shopping bags filled with gifts while Christmas lights reflected across the snowy sidewalks. Emily tried not to look at the expensive restaurants or crowded stores because they reminded her of everything she could not give her daughters. Inside the grocery store, Emily carefully counted every item she placed in the basket. Bread, soup, pasta, and a tiny box of cookies the girls had quietly stared at for several minutes. When they reached the cashier, the total came to $23.40. Emily froze. Her face turned pale as she searched through her purse again, hoping she had missed a few coins somewhere. But there was nothing left. Embarrassed, she quietly removed the cookies from the counter. Lily looked down sadly, trying not to cry. "It's okay, Mommy," she whispered. "We don't need cookies." The cashier sighed impatiently as people lined up behind them. Emily's hands trembled. She felt every pair of eyes staring at her poverty. Then suddenly, a calm voice spoke behind her. "Keep the cookies." Emily turned around and saw a young man wearing a dark winter coat standing there holding a few grocery bags. He looked no older than 25, with kind eyes and a gentle smile. Before Emily could protest, he handed his black credit card to the cashier. "I'll pay for everything." Emily immediately shook her head. "No, please, you don't have to do that." But the young man smiled softly. "Christmas isn't supposed to leave people behind." The cashier processed the payment, and the twins stared at the stranger in shock. Sophie hugged the cookie box tightly like it was treasure. Emily felt tears fill her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered emotionally. "I don't even know your name." "Michael," he replied. "And trust me, this is nothing." After gathering their groceries, Emily thanked him again and prepared to leave, but Michael noticed the girls shivering badly in the cold. "Wait," he said gently. "At least let me drive you home." Emily hesitated at first, but exhaustion finally overcame her pride. Outside, a sleek black SUV waited near the curb. The twins climbed inside carefully, amazed by the warmth and soft leather seats. During the drive, Michael spoke kindly with the girls, asking about school and Christmas wishes. Lily quietly admitted she only wanted her mom to stop being sad all the time. Emily turned away toward the window, hiding tears. When they arrived at the apartment building, Michael's expression changed slightly as he looked at the broken stairs and flickering hallway lights. He realized how difficult their lives truly were. Before leaving, he handed Emily a small business card. "If you ever need help," he said, "call me." Emily glanced at the card and nearly stopped breathing. The name printed on it read, Michael Anderson, Anderson Holdings. It was one of the richest families in the entire country. Everyone knew the Anderson empire. Hotels, technology companies, real estate, billionaires. Emily looked up in disbelief, but Michael simply smiled and drove away into the snowy night. Later that evening, Emily prepared the tiny Christmas Eve dinner while the twins laughed happily over cookies and warm soup. For the first time in months, the apartment felt peaceful. But a loud knock suddenly echoed through the hallway. Emily opened the door cautiously and gasped. Outside stood several workers carrying large boxes wrapped in red ribbons. "Delivery for Ms. Emily Carter," one man announced. Box after box filled the apartment. Warm blankets. Toys. Food. Winter clothes. A fully decorated Christmas tree. And finally, one small envelope. Emily opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a handwritten note from Michael. "No child should feel forgotten on Christmas. Tomorrow morning, a job interview will be waiting for you at Anderson Holdings. You don't need charity, Emily. You deserve opportunity. Merry Christmas." Emily broke down crying while holding the note close to her chest. The twins hugged her tightly, confused but smiling as tears rolled down her face. That night, for the first time in years, Emily cried not from pain, but from hope. Months later, Emily became a manager at one of Anderson Holdings' community programs helping struggling families rebuild their lives. She and her daughters moved into a safe apartment filled with warmth and laughter. And every Christmas Eve afterward, Emily volunteered at grocery stores across the city, secretly paying for families who couldn't afford their food, just like someone once did for her. Because sometimes a single act of kindness can change an entire life forever. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more emotional and inspiring stories every week. Your support helps bring these powerful stories to life and share hope with people around the world.